It's YouTube Wednesday! The mermaid crown thing. I had an actress in earlier today, and this is really close to the right size for their head. And I'm gonna try and do this one without release. This is water. The water is gonna help the foam cure. And I'm using Loctite foam once again. I was thinking about this project and I figured, well, I'll make an EVA foam helmet to build this off of. And I was like, why? I could just do the whole helmet out of the spray foam. Don't see why that wouldn't work. If I started it right on the side, I wouldn't have any kind of an anchor. I think this will give me a nice anchor for it. And I go a little faster. I'll tell you what, like every time I use this, it's exciting. It's exciting because of this material. It just doesn't, there's nothing like it right now. And it certainly has uses. Now, right now, this material is off-gassing. It's off-gassing toxic fumes. I have a fan set up that's blowing all the fumes away from me. By the time they get down there, they dissipate enough where they're not that terribly harmful. Right on top of it, yes, there's fumes. This is a material that puts off toxic fumes until it's cured. When it's cured, it's pretty inert and is much safer. I'm now waiting 3 minutes for this to get touch safe, meaning it's gonna make a skin over it. And I'm there. And I want this to go down and be pretty tight. What I don't want is I don't want it to stick to the head form. So I'm probably gonna let this cure a little bit, and then I will try to get this sucker off of the head form right away. But this should be a tight, firm skull cap, basically. Honestly, this stuff gets strong enough. I think you could use this as a base for animatronic jaw movement. I'm not gonna be at an impasse here. I can make other parts of the headpiece on the ground. This will be a headpiece for a mermaid. I don't want those edges to blend in too much. Countdown, 2 minutes. So I just want to show you, this is a little cheat sheet that I made of different mermaid crowns and foreheads and pieces that I want to put on. Some people may be thinking right now, you could put Vaseline on the head form and then you wouldn't have to gingerly take it off. Anytime I put Vaseline or something like PAM, any kind of a release agent, I'm going to make it harder to paint down the road, and I don't want that. This is a little tedious, but it's not terrible. I'm just being careful because I don't want to break that skin that has developed on this. I think it's kind of like cooking fish. If it sticks, it's still not ready. I could also have just put a plastic bag over this. That would have gone faster. When you are testing a material and you're trying to find its limits, you're gonna find its limits. I could find a limitation tonight. Well, hey, can't do it right on the head form. That is close enough. It does want to stick to itself really well. So I don't like that up there. This won't make it that much harder to paint. I'm also going to tape this in place while that full hardens, so that I keep that nice and tight to the head. Okay. This guy sits. I just put a yardstick under there for measuring purposes. This should end up being something like a crown or a headpiece. Countdown, 3 minutes. This tape was not on here long. That's one of the joys of this material. Everything happens kind of fast. Okay, I now have a semi-hard, but it's thin, so I'm not worried about that. And that is a nice tight fitting skull cap, which will work just fine. I'll get that crown piece put on it. I'll do some ears also. Let me start laying out those ears. I don't want this to look like it's made out of metal. I kind of want it to feel like it's coral, and that's why I thought this material would work really well for it. Count down 3 minutes. I just think that I can get some good textures in this. No matter how I blob it out, I want to blob out the right mass because I know I can change the shape. The closer to the shape I am, obviously the easier it's going to be, but I don't have to have it super close. I want those little fins to look kind of sharp. I could go in afterwards and glue on some seashells and things like that, but I want to do one just pure spray foam. My plan is to put hair on in behind this and really add to it that way. This was the first one that I put down. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. If you want something sharp, you've got to kind of keep reinforcing it because it swells a little. These pinches will make this look a little bit more like vertebrae. It'll also add some structural strength. These almost have like a reminiscent of fish skeletons feel. This has been down for I think 5 minutes, and it's not hard by any means. But that skin is getting there. And where I have compressed those ridges, they have some firmness. I'm just gonna set this off to the side. And I just stopped squeezing about halfway down the vein, and I'm just dragging it out the rest of the way. So by the way, I'm fully aware that I set up a fan over there to blow toxic fumes this direction, and then I stood on this side of the work. I see what I did. I want to put these ears on first. It would make sense for the crown to kind of go over those. So just have to wait for these to cure up a bit. Count down 3 minutes. These are big, but they're gonna let me add hair. They're gonna hide a lot of the seam. Now I'm not worried about this sticking at all. I can reinforce this shape. I don't hate that. Probably bend these back this way. I can do all that with a heat gun after the fact, once I get these guys settled. And now this is hardened even more. It just gets harder and harder. I did this one first. That is not quite ready. Timer hasn't gone off, I just got impatient. Okay. Broke the skin right there, so it really wanted to stick to my finger. That water will stop it. I like the organicness of this, and I like the speed of it, and just how fast I can kind of prototype out these shapes and forms. And I want these guys to dry a little bit, but I have made myself a left and right ear. This is getting much stiffer now, you see that. That'll fix it. Definitely don't position yourself right over top of that sucker while it's spraying. Never actually tried using that as a glue before. And I'll tell you that it works, but it's not amazing. That'll tuck in right behind the ear. This one tucks in behind the ear. This goes over the ear. So now everybody sees why I used hot glue when I glued the pieces on for the werewolf. It's just faster. Countdown 3 minutes. Now I do have a little bit of tape trapped under the band there. I'm not worried about it. Now the thicker that piece is, the more it's gonna kind of take to get it to move where I want it. But that's enough. I want to add a little bit of height. I want to add a sweep back So all these guys are going to get turned and swept backwards a bit. And these I want to have a little bit of torsion so they kind of face. See how soft that is now and pliable? Just holding it there for a little bit lets it keep its spot. As insulation, this foam really doesn't burn that much. It doesn't catch fire. You don't want to hit it so hard with the heat gun that it starts to smoke. Again, it's giving off that cyanide gas, which is top 10 not most healthy things for you. I'm in a pretty good breeze right here, so it's moving it all that way where it'll dissipate and the ppm will be way less. Should I wear a respirator? Absolutely. Doing one of these a week, I'm not busting out a respirator for it. If I'm doing 2 a day or if I have a day of doing them, yeah, respirator up, make sure you have the right filters and cartridges. I'm not by any means done shaping it. I still have to shape all of the ears, but I wanted to get this off of here because I just hate the way it looks. You don't want this. I don't want that to hit the shoulders ever. So I need it to go out more before it curls back down like that. Now I can keep this off the shoulder by doing this. This has to curl back right here. It's made of insulation, so it doesn't like stay hot long, but it stays warm enough to shape. All right, so it looks like I was just able to smooth this really nice by using the heat gun. Look at this area and how rough that is. Was I just able to smooth that? I feel like I was. Just that little area. It doesn't have all this texture on it anymore. I can't reach the water. I'm just putting a little bit of powder on my hands. And all I wanted to do was I wanted to reinforce this piece a little bit, so I really had an ear going. Now this one I think is pretty much perfect time to work with it. Kind of use this to make a separation between the crown and the earpiece and be able to reinforce that fin. And I'm sculpting for shadow. I want the shadow underneath of it. More than I want the ridge, I want that shadow underneath of it. That's going to tell you that this ear fin is strong and I want that nice little sweep there. Okay, so this has to sit for a little bit and then I'll get this, I'll start painting this. I think I like this nose piece, but we'll see. And I might go back later and add some shells to this and make it really look oceany. Let that dry a little bit. It's gonna take about 10-15 minutes. I'm gonna start thinking about my paint choices. So the skin is purple. If her skin is kind of purple, then I don't want the crown to be anything near purple. I think I want the crown to just be beautiful silver. Never start somewhere conspicuous. I prefer to start in the back. I'm dry brushing this, but I definitely want it to be this lilac color with some black depths. I do not want it to be black with lilac highlights. Dry brushing the crown and painting the ears will give me a difference. Yeah, I don't want to waste any time, so you got to think about what's happening and work in layers. I'm gonna need a glue gun. I don't need it right now, but I will need one. I might as well plug it in. While I'm waiting for that to heat up, I might as well paint my pearls and such that I got because I want to have those painted. I only need to paint those. These are fine silver. These are fine pearl colored. I'm here at night. I worked with the day with everybody. They left, except for Robert. And now we're filming because it's easier to film with a quiet shop. And so there's stuff everywhere. And these are people's projects from the daytime that I'm probably the bad guy moving that around. All right, now I have a little bit of room to work with hair here. Doing hair, you always want to lay it like shingles, meaning start at the bottom, work your way up so each one overlaps and they hide your seam from the one before. I have two colors. I have like a oceany blue kind of deal, like a Caribbean blue. As I'm doing hair work, I'm turning off that fan. Because I'm doing this on foam, it doesn't have to flex really. So I'm gonna put it on with hot glue. Remember that that hot glue is hot. This is all about show. I'm gonna put a little bit of hair on the back of these ears because I want a fuller head of hair, not because I think hair grows on the back of ears. This will allow me to have a fuller head of hair without a big surface area of the head to put hair on. It'll just look like it's teased out. I'm not just doing one type of thing. I'll put fishnet on it, I'll put seashells and pearls, and a lot of people just stop at the latex mask. And that multimedia is what helps push them over the edge. So that really holds on. And so you can't tell that that's glued to the back of the ears, it just looks like it's spilling out from the head. This is all hair extension here. It's meant to be glued in. There's actually hot glue for hair extensions. I'll be moving this down lower here in just a second so I can see what I'm working on. I'm not worried about the type of glue stick that I'm using for this. I want the pearls and stuff on top of the hair, and that's why I'm kind of doing the hair right now. So pretty. Edit that out. The green is prettier, but the blue is more full. It does a better job of hiding. Yeah, see now I've got some hair going over this back here, which is what I want. One more run. Now I don't really have to wait much time at all because hot glue cures a lot faster than silicone. Don't think I want to like tease it like crazy. What do you think? I was gonna tease it like wild, but I don't know that I need to. Sometimes on their way to work, mermaids have to swim through oil slicks. I don't have any seashells right now, but I wish I did. Now beads like this can lock, and you can get them, put them in between the beads and give it a little twist, and that's a little knot that'll hold. Now they lock together. This desperately needs the airbrush on these ears. That's what I'm matching. I found a few resin sand dollars, and I think I can put those on in a couple spots. We're working on the set that the mermaid will be in, and I stole some seaweed and I found a lonely starfish. So I'm going to paint it real quick. It's a little full. That's better. I think if you're swimming real fast through a kelp bed, you're gonna get some seaweed in your crown. I think that's an inevitability. Inevitable. I think that's gonna happen. a mermaid headpiece.
1, 2, 3.
Go make stuff! Thank you to all the new subscribers on Patreon. We appreciate each and every one of you. Now let's do a couple of shout outs. Adelaide Robertson, William Eleftheriou, Hallows Manor Young Wa, Ellis Gravy Fifi, and Halloween Design Shop. If you would like a chance to win our creature creation we made in the last video, make sure to join us on Patreon. As always, go make stuff.